ball is being moved, and like, he seemed to be running for a couple of minutes, and the ball came nowhere near him. And I take your point about the quality, but I felt a bit sorry for him. I feel that he's still feeling his way into the team,
But don't you think, actually, isn't this synonymous with what happens in Conte teams? It seems you look at Basuma, when he came on, he still looks a bit lost. He looks a bit nervous. Brian Hill, when he came on, who I thought actually did quite well, but you still feel he doesn't seem part of what Conte wants. But when Kulusevski plays, you just see, oh right, he's just totally settled in. He knows exactly what is required.
Yeah, and I think certainly with Brian Hill and with Basuma, you get that you definitely get that sense and that feeling, because they've their chances their opportunities are so few and far between that they realise, it's clear to everyone that they're not a first choice at the moment. So Conte's kind of said, "Oh yeah, no, these players will figure and will be part of my plans after the international break there's been," and that seems to just mean subs appearances at the moment, and not in every game. So it doesn't really. I don't think it can really fill you with a lot of confidence. Basuma looked okay apparently in the Brighton game. A lot of people gave him a lot of credit for his performance in that game. And
I thought he was okay, but you could see on his face he looked stressed and nervous. He didn't look relaxed.
And it was the same last night. You just looked at his performance. I couldn't see his face, but he was very tenuous with the way he played. And I just looked at him and I thought, where's the guy that that we bought? Because from Brighton, I remember that game that they played against us, and he was all over the pitch, winning the ball, making blocks, recoveries, driving Brighton forward. He just doesn't look the same player at the moment because he's just not been given that kind of.
Well, because Conte's saying you've got to go on that square there, and what's the name needs to be on that square there.
Yeah, you run in those. When he moves to that
square, you've got to go there. So it must do your head in. It's until you get it right, and the pressure of a game's even harder because then it's a bit more dynamic. So
yes, no, but I think you're right. So 3-1, we controlled the game. should have seen it out. 10 men, and then as you say, the substitutions. I think because we ended up with Skip and Basuma, in the middle of the park. And although I see big things for Basuma, I'm not. Skip, I think, has got a long way to go before he gets back to the form that he was in a while back. So to leave just the two of them in the middle of the pitch, I think, kind of exposed us a bit, and we ended up under a lot of pressure, and we conceded a sloppy corner. From the corner, we conceded a bloody sloppy goal.
Yeah, I know. It was just waiting to happen, wasn't it, really? Very, very disappointing. And of course, that added to the whole end of the game then. So, we were entertained with loads of heart-stopping moments. Yeah.
But then, the thing that frustrates me, right, is after we conceded that goal, and it was like, right, well, it could be a little bit tense. Yeah. I felt we then went on the front foot again. We because obviously at Frankfurt we're trying to score, but then we were much more, much better with getting the ball out of our area and counter attacking. And Brian Hill had a couple of chances. I think he was quite funny because he had I don't know if he had two. I can't remember if it's in the same move, but he had an opportunity where he was playing clean through, and he took the first touch and he said, "Go on, away you go." And then the second touch, and he left the ball behind him.
Yeah,
and I think that was that. And I can't remember if it's the same in the same exact same move.
It was the same move because the Frankfurt defender got the ball and for whatever reason ended up giving it back to Hill.
So
he went through and got the penalty.
So because he kind of threw him, I felt like he threw himself on the floor for the first challenge, to try and make up for the fact that he fucked up the opportunity.
Yeah.
Then he got, as you say, then he got the ball back, and then he ran into the area and threw himself on the floor again.
I know.
And then everyone, oh fuck, it must be a penalty.
It's got to be.
It's got to be. I mean, what? No one throws himself on the floor twice, do they?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, the
and,
interesting thing against Brighton was he came on and he was really industrious with the ball and everything and trying to do stuff. But they were just basically knocking him over. It was like he was made of balsa wood. It was just, he is a really lightly built guy, but he's also pretty rapid as well, and he's very, very skillful. So he excites me, actually. I think there's a lot he can offer us if we can use him effectively. And
no, it's one of the I can't remember if it's Spooky or one of the it might be Spooky that said that he's he's chaos. He doesn't fit into a Conte team because he's just chaos.
That's true.
And someone you mean like Mora, because Mora's like
Mora's
chaos.
like that. Yeah, he is.
It's an interesting kind of way
you
to
can't really
look at
defend against these players. It's because they are just all over the shop. Yeah,
exactly. So anyway, we got the penalty. Kane took the second penalty disastrously. Didn't even make the. I don't know what happened. Maybe I don't know if someone scuffed, because I noticed for the first penalty. I don't know if you noticed for the first penalty, one of their players in all the hoo-ha, like once the referee had got all the players out of the penalty area, he was talking to one of their players, and then he was talking to the keeper. And as he was talking to one of their players, another one of the players came into the box while Kane was putting the ball on the spot, and just kicked the ball at Kane's feet, walked around him, and walked back out of the penalty area. All of our stand went men. Whoa, fucking hell!
Yeah.
The linesman, I think it was a lady actually. So the assistant referee, I shouldn't say linesman. Right. The assistant referee was looking right at it. She can't have missed it. She was looking right at it, and said nothing and did nothing about the fact that.
But maybe she was talking to the ref in the mic, and they were just letting it go for whatever reason.
No, they just fuck it. It don't mean nothing. Fuck it, fuck it. So anyway, so that was. I mean, that was the first one, and then obviously in the second one, I say it was a shit penalty, and
he was trying to put it in the top left-hand corner, wasn't he?
But why? He doesn't take penalties like that. I mean,
he's
it's
getting
just
bored. He's getting bored now, isn't he, Harry?
It was just weird, you think. Because we were all saying everyone around us was going, he's like, second penalty, he'll go down the middle. He'll just dink this down the middle because he's gone one side. He'll dink it down the middle. And it's like, just fucking hell. And for me, I think you go back the same way. If you've got two penalties, go the same way, because the keeper will always think you're going to go in a different way. So go the same way. Anyway, so you fucked that up. But
you did.
So before, I mean, we haven't got long. And there's a couple of points I want to touch on, but we had a few free kicks last night, and on a couple of occasions on those free kicks, Kane is stepped forward. I don't understand why we're still persistent. I mean,
I don't know. It must be contractual. It's got to be, if you don't let me do this, I'm taking my ball and going home attitude. It's
got to be, because I mean, Sonny scoring goals for South Korea, like every time he's on a national duty, he scores goals from free kicks for South Korea, and you could see him kind of walk off yesterday, really dejected, like, but I fucking score for South Korea.
I know.
Let me take a fucking free kick.
I don't understand it. I don't know, because Sonny could even take it with his left foot. You know what he's like. He's good enough with his left. So I don't really understand what's going on there, and I suppose eventually, Harry's going to lose that spot, but I don't know why he keeps insisting on taking them. It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
I have no idea, but it's fucking frustrating. I don't know. So, and the other point I think that I wanted to cover was like a point I saw that was raised, that apparently, like, I don't know if you heard I know I heard the odd sort of fuck's sake comment, but people apparently fans are taking their frustration with Royal out, starting to show their frustration with Royal last night. I mean, I just think it's counterproductive. If you start getting on a player's back, I mean, we had that with Trippier, for example, and then he went somewhere else, and everyone's why did we let him go? Everyone, because you all said he was shit. That's why he went.
No, exactly. In fact, not in the last few games, but there was a game earlier in the season. This guy was sitting just a few kind of seats away from us, and he was actually standing up, just giving Royale loads of abuse, like you stupid C, all this kind of stuff, and it's just like, what are you doing? I mean, first of all, you look like an idiot. Second, there's people here that don't want to hear your vile language. I mean, everybody's fine with swearing, what have you, but he was coming out with it too much, very aggressive. And three, even if the player can hear you, what does that do? What? How does that help? And it was just appalling, and I don't like to see it. I agree with you; it's counterproductive, and there's no place for it really. I don't mind criticism of players. That's normal, That's
by all means, criticize, have a chat. Fucking, I don't understand, but don't start like. There's no point in shouting out, and I don't know. I don't know.
No, I don't get it. Don't get it. It just doesn't serve any purpose whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, no, especially if he's going to continue to get selected by the manager. I don't know if you're hoping to. I mean, we've already seen that Conte is quite obstinate. So where we want him to play 3-5-2 some games when we only had the three strikers and no option to change an attacking option from the bench, and he's still going with the 3-4-3. So he's going to do what his mind tells him. He's not going to do what the fans go, "What? Do you know what, Antonio? I think you should be dropping him today. I think actually it's about time you started with Dirty." Oh, okay, Steve. All right, Steve, I'll do that. You know what I mean? It's not happening. He'll do what he wants to fucking do. But in the meantime, the player's confidence will fucking get shot to pieces if we just keep abusing him and shit from the side of the pitch. So
and also the way that fans are seeing how we're playing is not necessarily how Conte sees how we're playing. No, he's looking at certain things being achieved on the pitch.
Yeah,
and he wants those goals met. We want Royale to go up there and cross a lovely ball into Sonny so he can smack it in the back of the net. And maybe Conte thinks he can do it, but it's probably fairly low probability.
Yeah, never the twain will meet. That ain't happening.
Yeah, exactly.
But by the same token, he did a fantastic recovery challenge in the box.
But that's what he's there for. That's what he's there for.
So there we go. Okay, let's quickly tie this up then, because we're just about on the hour. So we got Everton on Saturday. Are you going to the game?
Yeah, I'm going to be there. It's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, last season we completely wiped the floor with them.
Yeah.
This season, I think it might be a similar type of thing. I don't see any massive improvements with Everton this season. Maybe they have, firmed things up in the defence a bit, but they're without Gordon, who I think is pretty much one of their better players.
Is he injured? Is he? What's happening?
Suspended.
Is he? Fucking hell, jobs are good, mate. Fucking hell, that's good.
So I think Calvert-Lewin, I don't think he's quite right. I think Lampard was saying that he's probably not going to be fit. So they're probably going to have Mopé up front, who's one of the most ineffective attackers in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And he's going to be up against the back three. So I don't know what they're going to do. I guess they're going to play. They'll obviously start with Iwobi, who's playing fairly well this season, but he's one of those really strange kind of hit and miss players anyway. And I think we'll probably boss the midfield with them, and I can see Doherty starting. I can see Perisic starting.
Blimey. Okay. I think Kulusevski might be back on the